What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, this is a good sign for the Lakers. Good things to come if they're able to build off top of this. You know, of course, LeBron coming back definitely was a big thing. His return is always imminent for this team because he's the main guy. He's a superstar. He's the best player on the team. And I said before, he shouldn't be the best player on the team. It should be Anthony Davis by now. But at the same time, Anthony Davis just has moments where he plays really, really good. He has moments where he's injured. And then he has moments where he doesn't play like a top 10 player. But lately, I will say this, Anthony Davis has showed up a lot. He's been having a lot of big games here the last several games, and he's been playing like a top 5 player here lately. Now, of course, if he continues this and continues to do this the whole time throughout the duration of the season, what's left, about 40 games or so, the Lakers definitely have a good chance of not only getting to the playoffs, but actually making some noise when they get into the playoffs. And hopefully, well, I guess that would be pending on if LeBron stays healthy and if Russell Westbrook can find a way to cure himself and don't actually have too many turnovers or just as many turnovers as he has misses in a game. He can't go 1 for 10, but also have 10 turnovers, hypothetically, and he can have games like that because that's just what Russ does. He can have a game where he has a breakout 20, 30-point game. Then he has a game where, like I said, he can go 1 for 10 from the field and have 8 or 10 turnovers. So, it doesn't really balance out for the Lakers as far as winning a championship, but it does give them hope, the fact that Anthony Davis is playing like a top 5, top 10 player, and LeBron James is still in rare form himself. But, a good thing for the Lakers was the game against the Knicks, where they overcame a 21-point lead against a pretty decent team. Definitely can bode well for their confidence as a team. Now, they did get 29 points from Malik Monk, which is not something they're going to get on a consistent basis. So you have to consider that. But really, Malik Monk made up for what Russell Westbrook didn't do, which is the reason why Russell Westbrook was benched in the overtime of that game, which I'm pretty sure he wasn't fond of. But at the same time, it actually worked for the Lakers. So they can't be too babish about that. They actually won a game where they were down, and the team, it looked like for a while that the Knicks were just going to run away with it. And for a while, it looked like the Lakers, and down in the last stretch of the fourth quarter, looked like they were just going to end the game. And then RJ Barrett hits a big shot, goes into overtime. The Knicks storm back and fight a little bit. It was a really good game, very entertaining, about almost as entertaining as the Lakers-Clippers game, a couple nights before that. Of course, the Lakers-Clippers game was better, but it was a very entertaining game against the New York Knicks, and you got to give the Knicks credit for going out there, playing to their best ability, which is, decent, but, they're not really a good team, but they're a decent team. They're a little bit above average, I would say. That being said, like I said, a 21-point lead was definitely a good thing to see them come back from. Definitely good for their confidence. But another thing, taking Russell Westbrook out of the game in overtime, limiting his minutes in fourth quarter some, as Frank Vogel has done, I think that's a good thing as well. I think that's something that can work for them as well. I think that can work in their favor, if they can convince Russ that it's okay for him to do that, and Russ is mentally okay with doing that himself. I just don't know how much Russ is going to be totally fine with that, because he knows he's a superstar. He knows he's a top 75 player. And with that being said, a player that has his mentality, that knows he can go out there and has seen himself dominate games, things like that, I don't know if he's really going to be cool with that in the long run. The Lakers better hope so, because if they don't find a way to trade him or get somebody to take him off their hands, which seems to be very, very difficult, because I don't really see any team biting on Russell Westbrook because of his inconsistencies and because he doesn't help you win. And teams really, when you look at the league now that it's more of a jump shooting league more than it's ever been, people want somebody who can shoot. People want somebody who can stretch the floor, and Russ just can't do that. Russ is from the era of him and Derrick Rose, where they just was the most athletic point guards in the league and couldn't be stopped going to the basket. But those days are pretty much over with. Russ can still do those things at times, but he's not as mobile as he used to be in regards to doing those type things. Neither is Derrick Rose, of course, due to injuries, but at the same time, the league has went away from that some. I mean, of course, dunking is always great to see. Going one end to the floor to the other end is very exciting, and Russ still has a lot of that in him, but he just, it's just not really a fit in regards to winning. It's a fit, or it goes in regards to SportsCenter. If you want to look at SportsCenter and see highlights, yeah, Russell Westbrook is definitely a highlight machine if he's allowed to play his game. But he's on a team now where championship is the only thing that's expected, not highlights on SportsCenter. And that's just the way it is with Laker Nation. That's the way it is with the Lakers organization and the Lakers just as a whole. It's all about winning. And Russ has to understand, he has to play to a certain level every night, and he has to be consistent. I mean, honestly, if Frank Vogel can get 16, 8 and 8 from Russ every night with three turnovers, that would be great for him if he can get that consistently. I mean, no flaws, just consistent, every single night. I mean, of course, they would like to have more from Russell Westbrook. They probably would like to have 20, 8 and 8 from Russell Westbrook, which averaging like 3 turnovers a game. But I mean, that's probably unreal because he really doesn't find his way in the offense the way he should. I mean, he has moments and spurts, but it's not good enough for them to win a championship, I don't believe, because he's not consistent enough from the first quarter to the fourth quarter to give them what they need. I mean, like I said, Frank Vogel, some games is sitting him out in the fourth quarter or taking him out the last 5 minutes. Or like I said, in the Knicks game, he didn't even play, much at all, if none in the overtime. So it's like, when you're doing that to a superstar player, you have to be very, very careful with that because the superstar player might not react to it well. And when he gets any opportunity, he might just jack up shots and be reckless, which he's already like that. But I mean, it might make him even more reckless now because he feel like his characteristics of who he is as a superstar is being abandoned and being overlooked and being overshadowed by what the Lakers are trying to do, which is win. And Russ has never really been a winner. He did go to an NBA Finals one time, but he did have Kevin Durant and James Harden. So it's not like, he was carrying teams and things like that on his own. It was just he had nice pieces around him. He had other superstar players around him, which allowed him to, flourish and, play to the level that he did, which, also helped him become a better player and a superstar player that he is. But like I said, winning has never been a part of his DNA. It's always seemed like it's always been about stats, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what the Lakers are about. But at the same time, they have to try to make it work with him unless they're able to get rid of him or get somebody back that's comparable. As I said, the chances for that are just really, really slim because I don't think nobody really wants Westbrook. I mean, he's too much of a headache. He's a very good splash player. He can give you a lot of good things, but he can't give you winning. And that's just not what teams are about. But I mean, if any team can get him right or get him at that level, it would be the Lakers to me, because LeBron is definitely the ultimate team guy in regards to, trying to do what he can to, pull his teammates with him to win a championship, but I'm just not even sure he can even make this work as great as he is. I mean, he's been great all his career, but this is one of those tasks or assignments that I think that he might actually find himself failing at. And so far he has with the Russell Westbrook experiment, but at the same time, as I said, if any superstar or any team can get a player on track, I would say the Lakers can definitely do that. Or, a team or any other team that may have a really, really good coach possibly can do it, like Eric Spoelstra, maybe even like a Ty Lue or somebody like that. One of those coaches, might be able to do it as well. But it's just a lot of work with Russell Westbrook. And, it's hard taking him out of games, in the fourth quarter, because that's when he really wants to be there to shine. But like I said, the fact that he can't stretch the floor and shoot threes and step out and make the defense respect his jumper, it makes the Lakers so limited on offense, where it's probably better where he sits in the fourth quarters, late in the fourth quarters, and let LeBron and AD just do their thing and let Malik Monk and those players just feed off of what the two superstars do while they're in the game. So we'll see how it goes, but definitely, some good things happened for the Lakers in that 21-point deficit they had that they made a comeback in and win. Definitely built some confidence, and they definitely might build confidence in their favor where they might be able to find a way to start winning some more games. I mean, it would be weird to even see an NBA playoffs if the Lakers are not in it. You see what I'm saying? Like it would just be so weird to see that. I mean, even if you're a Lakers fan or not, how are you going to have an NBA playoffs without the Lakers in it? You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't even fit. It doesn't even seem right. So, in some way, shape, or form, they have to try to find a way. But will they find a way? That's the biggest question. That's the $1 million question. And we'll just have to find out over time. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khali out.